power that hindsight grants us, the errors of the past seem obvious to those with the context of events to come, and that is true none more so than with the Blackfyre Rebellions and the rise of Daemon Blackfyre. It has been said that in the years after Daemon Blackfyre proved a traitor to some and a hero to others, that his deep-rooted and fierce hatred of his elder half-brother, King Daeron II, began to grow early, and with that hatred sent the realm on a path of war. In truth, it is claimed that it was his father, King Aegon IV, who desired that Daemon be wed to Rohanne of Tyrosh. The truth of the matter is that Daemon had no such desire to do so. Daemon was said to have developed a deep passion for his younger half-sister and the sister of King Daeron, the young Princess Daenerys. The princess was only 2 years younger than Daemon. There were those at court who claimed that the princess supposedly loved the bastard prince in turn, with the tale of it becoming a favourite of the singers. But much like many of the rumours of court, it's hard to truly know the validity of it. Perhaps there are more detailed court records of this era that will one day shed light on this. But until then, we must accept the evidence we have for what it is. But much like a lot of the supposed court rumours and scandals, there is often, at the very least, a grain of truth at the heart of it. Maybe, perhaps, in an ideal world, a marriage of true love between Daemon and Daenerys could have averted the wars to come, or perhaps only have made it worse, as Daemon Blackfyre, with a true-born Targaryen wife, whom was his half-sister, would arguably give his claim to the throne even more legitimacy. But at the time, very few could have predicted the events to come in the following years. The reality of the situation, whether Daemon loved his half-sister and she loved him or not, neither his father, King Aegon IV, nor his true-born half-brother, King Daeron II, were willing to let such feelings rule when it came to matters of state and politics. Like near every king before them, when it came to political matters, including marriages, they saw it as their duty to the realm to make the best matches and choices possible for their children in order to secure House Targaryen and, on the whole, benefit the Seven Kingdoms. Sometimes that means you marry a stranger from a foreign land, and in rare cases you may be lucky to marry the woman you love. King Jaehaerys I Targaryen, the Old King, the Conciliator, encapsulated this perfectly. While his own marriage to his sister, the good Queen Alysanne, was in truth a political move on his part, it was lucky for them both there was deep love between them. His son, Balon the Brave, loved his sister Alyssa, and they were too lucky enough to marry. But that's not the case with all of Jaehaerys' children, with many married off for political purposes. One of Jaehaerys' younger daughters showed the other side of this coin perfectly, in her reluctance to marry a man not of her choosing. As a result, Princess Visera Targaryen tragically lost her life. The lesson we can take from the old king and his children is whether marrying for love or for politics, the outcome is never certain, and the morality behind it is never black and white. In the case of Daemon Blackfyre, King Aegon IV and his small council saw more profit in a tie to Tyrosh, perhaps because his fleets would be of great use if King Aegon made another attempt to conquer Dorne, whereas a match between Daemon and Daenerys would have gained Aegon little to nothing. Daemon would be a good match for the Tyroshi, where maybe in the eyes of Aegon, Princess Daenerys was too valuable of a political pawn to waste on a bastard, even if that bastard happened to be his favourite, even among his true-born children. King Aegon IV may have been an unworthy and poor king, but he still bore some political sense. As with many of the issues surrounding King Daeron II and Daemon Blackfyre, it would not be that simple. Depending on what tales you believe, there exists one that seems plausible enough that adds an extra dimension to the marriage plans of Daemon Blackfyre. It is claimed by some sources that Daemon was not so much opposed to marrying Rohanne of Tyrosh. In fact, he too saw the benefits of the match to his father, but also to himself in some regards, thanks to the power and position it would give him. The issue is, Daemon was a strong-willed man, and he was, throughout his life, he was convinced that he could follow in the footsteps of Aegon the Conqueror and Maegor the Cruel, and have more than one bride. While King Jaehaerys Targaryen's doctrine of exemptionalism formally allowed incestuous marriages for members of House Targaryen, arguing that they were more than just mortal men given their Valyrian traits and heritage, it did not go as far as to allow polygamy, especially given the damage the many marriages of King Maegor the Cruel did to the realm. There was also the issue for Daemon that he was not technically a member of House Targaryen. While his mother, Princess Daenerys, was a Targaryen, and his father was of course King Aegon IV. Being a bastard, Daemon was given the traditional bastard name of the Crown Lands, Waters. Even when he did go on to form House Blackfyre, and eventually becoming legitimized, he was still not a Targaryen, for which the doctrine of exemptionalism applies to. Even so, with the loss of power House Targaryen faced after the Dance of the Dragons, some even wondered if they would even be able to enforce the rights of the doctrine if the faith did object to it. The truth of the matter is that King Aegon, being the kind of man he was, might have even promised to indulge his bastard son in this regard, as some of the Blackfyre partisans later claimed was the case. But King Daeron II was not his father's son. He was of a different mind entirely. Not only did Daeron refuse to permit his brother more than one wife, but he also gave Daenerys' hand to Maron Martell as part of the bargain to finally unite the Seven Kingdoms with Dorne. Whether Daenerys loved Daemon, as those who rose for the Black Dragon later claimed, who can say? In the years afterwards, Daenerys was aught but a loyal wife to Prince Maron, and as she mourned Daemon Blackfyre, she left no record of it.